Hi, everybody. It is episode 559 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Congratulations to him. He beat Mario World for the first time in
Hi,
his 36 years.
my name's Walnuts. I'm 36 years old, and I just beat Super Mario World for the first time. Yes.
So I watched, was it Monday that you did the longer bit of it?
No, it was, I did play Monday, and
Monday, Tuesday, right?
Well, I did Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, I missed that you played it on Saturday. Because when I tuned in on, I think it was Monday, you had gotten to Chocolate Island. And...
Fun fact, I had started Monday at Chocolate Island.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, like, when I tuned in, I think you'd been on for like an hour and a half, and you had gotten really far, and I'm just like, damn, like, you cleared Castle 3 and just fucking blitzed through Island of Illusion.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize you played on Saturday.
Yeah, I did. I cleared Castle 3 and I blitzed through the there's like that little bridge section after Castle 3 and then the Island of Illusion. I beat all of that and got to like basically the level before the fortress of No, it might have been the fortress. Was it the fortress that I got to?
No. When I tuned in, you weren't on the fortress. I don't think. No. Yeah, I'm sorry. You were on the fortress when I tuned in.
So either
that may have been.
Yeah. So I got to either the level before or to the fortress on Saturday, and then when I played on Monday, it took me 3.5 hours to beat 6 levels. 6 goddamn levels.
Yeah. So I watched you. I watched you struggle on that fortress, man. That one got you.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to remember the fortress. I've blocked it all out. PTSD, man.
It's the one with all the thwomps.
Yeah.
So it's the pits with the thwomps in between, and because you hadn't cleared any of the switch palaces, it's frankly much harder because half the thwomps can still fall.
Yeah.
But like you did eventually get it without having to go back to to get the switch palaces.
I eventually got it, but then when it came to the castle of there, because there was one point in that,
7, I think, or 6.
Yeah,
6?
7.
7.
Yeah, I think, or maybe it is 6. I don't know, because there's a castle in Bowser's Valley before Bowser.
So it's Yoshi's Island, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, whatever that little mountain one is, Forest of Illusion. Yeah, the Chocolate Island is Castle 6, and then the one in Bowser's is Castle 7.
Yeah. So like that one, there was one point where like there's a jump you have to make, and you only get 1 block to make that jump.
Oh, that's around where I stopped watching. Is like you had just gotten to that jump the first time, and like, oh, I heard you say on stream, "Is this one of those jumps I just have to commit to?" And then I watched you immediately like commit, like you committed and like overshot it, and that's about where I had like dropped off.
Yeah, and so it was at that point where like you need to perfectly land on a single block, and this game, the Super Mario World it's like the entire game you're on ice, and I hate it so much. Like Mario is jump man, he's not momentum man. Like when you let go of the move button, he should stop moving. That is Mario. At least that's the Mario I know.
Think about it this way: if you're running full speed and you stop, or if you jump really far, you generally aren't like planting your feet and stopping dead. You know, you have a little bit of movement.
No, I know it's realistic, but look at Mario 1 and Mario 2. You let go of moving, he stops moving.
He slides a little bit in Mario 1, doesn't he?
Yes.
Thanks. I don't know. I don't think so.
Mario 2 doesn't count because that's just a reskin of a different game.
I meant like, I meant Mario 3 more so than Mario 2.
But he definitely slides in Mario 3. I think so. I watched your stream from yesterday, I guess. The where you beat it, and I saw the beginning of it. And yeah, man, input lag would fucking wreck that game.
I think there's just I think my capture card has some very, very small input lag.
And like
There's
the
very
Switch is
small. It's not really input lag, but there's a very, very like minor delay, which is causing input lag. So there's no input lag to the Switch, but it's minor delay in what's happening on my screen.
yeah, and like after you said that, I was watching some of the stuff you were doing, and how like you just like you'd run right off a ledge and like not jump at all. I'm like, oh yeah, there's definitely there's a delay in what you're seeing versus like what the button prompts are doing, or your Switch controllers are not like
I used
like working well.
I used two different controllers playing this.
Okay.
And the first time I played it was using the just Joy-Cons connected together on the like the I don't remember what the thing is called, but you know the two Joy-Cons on the thing, on the controller thing. And then I used an SNES controller that I borrowed from my brother. So it wasn't the controllers, unless they're all broken.
Which it seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, so I think you have an Elgato, right?
Yes, I have an Elgato.
Do you have one of the external Elgatos?
Yes.
So it's got it. Do you have the one that just has the one input, so the switch into it, and then one output, and that's to your computer, or do you have the dual?
No,
output?
I can get a dual output. I can set it up to my TV and see. Like I could set it up to my TV and see if it runs better on the TV, and maybe it's just the software.
So what I'm wondering is between the Elgato software running and OBS running, if there is like there's just that like slight lag in the visuals. That if you were watching it on your TV, like with the split connection, it would probably be a little bit better. You're done the game, so like right now it doesn't matter. But like if you ever play like if you do another platformer or something like that, might be worth trying that and see if like just the gameplay feels a little better.
It's just the only problem with that is my TV's behind me and my stream setup's in front of me, so I can't really do that.
Do either of your monitors have HDMI on it?
My primary or the monitor in front of me that I play on does. And then the other monitor that I use is what is it, display or whatever the new fucking confangled thing is.
New confangled thing. So you could always like if you wanted to test it, like use your monitor as like just the output for the Switch, and then like have your stuff on the other one and see if it's any better.
Yeah, I could do that. I could do that because then at the same time it would like, especially with the stream setup, like I use the one monitor as just a game monitor anyway, so like I can do that. And I'd still basically be doing dual monitor. I don't know. It's something I'd have to look into and try out because it is possible that like it's the software. I don't think it's like a RAM issue. I don't think it's an issue with like OBS and the software running at the same time.
It's memory. It's either like system memory or video memory is like just it's eating up a little too much for you.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it was because I think at one point in the video that you watched, or maybe the one from Monday, or maybe from Sunday, at one point I pick up the controller, I put it on screen, and I'm just hitting jump, and like I could see that there is a lag in the input. And again, I don't know. I don't think it's to the Switch. I think it's because I believe one of the bosses I was having a problem with in in Bloodborne when I did that playthrough. I was having a hard fucking time. So I actually went in and altered how the PlayStation and turned it from like visual mode to whatever it's called to performance mode, and it was better. But there was still like I could still tell that there was maybe a bit of an input lag. It's like it's not incredibly noticeable, and you learn to compensate it. But it's still like. It's a pain. It's a pain.
Yeah, I like it might actually even be worth just like for games in general, like if it's not like a huge hassle, like plug the consoles directly into your monitor. Or not directly, but you know what I mean, like through the Elgato separately. This way you are just getting like the raw game and you're not dealing with like your computer having to process things and then also display them.
Yeah, I'll honestly, like, I thought about taking out the, playing on the Switch handheld at one point or another, just seeing how that was. Because there was also, like it seemed like input issues in when I was doing Odyssey. When I was doing the Star run on Odyssey, it felt like there was input issues as well.
Yeah, and that like, I've
yeah,
definitely noticed like stuff looking like that before, but I honestly just I just chalked it up to like like you're playing on stream and your attention's split because you are like watching chat and alerts and stuff too. I hadn't really thought about like it being input lag, like that, like you were doing stuff and it wasn't reflecting what you were doing. But
yeah, it's.
I bet Mario World probably would have been a lot better because, frankly, like the sliding that like you hate, it actually makes like you can compensate for stuff a whole bunch when you can like react in time to it.
Yeah,
because it makes some of those like crazy like. So I saw at some point you went back and you got all the Switch Palaces. It looked like.
Yeah, it was doing the fortress, or not the fortress, the castle in the Chocolate Plains or whatever, the last island before Bowser. I was like, I did it a few times. Like, all right, if I have only 5 lives before I get through here, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get all the switches. And I had 5 lives, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back because I had to go back anyway and restock my 1-ups. So I did that. I went back and I restocked my 1-ups. And then I got all the switches on the way back. I did look. I will admit, I did sort of, slightly, kind of, maybe, arguably cheat, but not cheat a little bit. I saw you do
save state, so you didn't have to keep going back.
But that's the thing. I was doing that just to save myself the 5 minutes it takes to go all the way back to then come all the way back to the level.
Yeah.
So like,
I feel like that is fine because you weren't save stating in the castle. You were save stating at you save stated at the world map. So like, you were just restarting the level every time anyway.
Yeah,
so,
and
like,
I did rewind once, but that was because I forgot to make the save state. So I rewound to the world map to make the save state.
Yeah, I did see you do that too.
But yeah, it was because it was Bowser's castle, and it takes. I was like, all right, I'm going to make sure I have a mushroom or like I have like stocked up power ups coming into this thing, and it's like to go in there and not be because like. I think there was 1 box in both the levels I was going into the whole time. So, like, I would have only gotten 1 power-up, like 1 mushroom, if I made it all the way to Bowser. But yeah, Peach throws out a mushroom each time you see her.
Yeah, between each of the 3 phases.
So that's like 2 other mushrooms, but it's like, I'd have to get through phase 1 of Bowser without having the box power-up. So I was like, I would have ended up going all the way back. It just took so long to go all the way back.
Yeah. The only other thing you could have done is like unlock Star Road, but like that would have. They're very short levels, but like that would have still been like 5 levels for you to like figure out. That like they're decent levels. Like there's nothing bad about them. I feel like the fact that every one of them is a secret exit to get to. Would have just taken you a little bit longer because you would have, between finding the normal exit and then trying to like track down the secret exits on some of them are frustrating. Mm-hmm. Like the one, the purple, pink, whatever color you want to call it, red switch in Vanilla Dome. That one's a bitch because that wall, like, it's real easy to like not notice that wall is like not really there.
I got a guide for them all because I was just like, I'm not going to go hunting. I was like, I'm not going to go hunting for these. I'm just going to get a guide to figure out where they are and how to get there. And so, like, I had a YouTube video playing while I was playing. Like, I would pause it, get to a point, pause my game, unpause the video to watch where it would go. I found some bad YouTube videos showing people how to get to these things. One of them, the person had already gotten it and was trying to show you how to get to it. But it doesn't exit the level that way because he's already done it. So the exit's not there anymore or something. So it's like, well, wait, and he shows me one way to go and then leaves. And I'm just like this. All right, I need a new video. It was, it was the illusion, Forest of Illusion video that it was like, man, this is bad. This is bad. I need a better video. And they were all like, they were all like the SNES like version, not the Switch emulator version. Like they were like, capture carding off of an SNES or something, or just an emulator in general.
Yeah. Also, fun fact for you, Rich, in Bowser's Castle, I heard, like you were talking about, like the doors. There is actually no like special order to those doors.
That's
you
that's
through any 2 of them.
I figured, and like I figured it was just like you take your choice, and like I had figured that out at some point because there was at one point I made it through door 8, and at the beginning of it I had made it through door. I think I went through door 4 or 1. I did door 1 and then I went to door 8 for my first time I went through. The next time I did door 2 and then door something, probably door 8 again. But eventually I did. I just basically found out like, all right, door 2, easiest door ever. And then door 7 was easy enough.
Yeah, 2 and 7 are speedrun doors. Like if you're speedrunning, those are the doors you pick. And if you're doing it with a cape, you can actually, I believe it's for door 7, so it's a little tricky to hit. But you run till you get to door 7, and right when you're underneath the bottom of the 7, you jump, so you start flying, and Mario hits his head and then slides into the ground. And if you hit up as you cross the door while you're still sliding, you will actually have flight immediately when you get into the next room, and you can kind of just like quickly like zoom across the level.
Yeah. I figured something crazy like that, and I think because like I was looking stuff up online the night before, and it was saying about Bowser's Castle, and like I think it said like I think I remember had just seen something that said door 7. But yeah, like I did go through door 8, and I made it through door 8, but the end of door 8 is all the football players. Yeah, and it's just like fuck that. It was easier to avoid, especially because I got all the switches. It was easier just to avoid the jumping Bowser statues and the fire.
Yeah, that whole that castle can really fuck with you.
Bowser's Castle, honestly, the easiest level in the game.
Yeah, as long as you go through the right doors. Some of those doors can really fuck you over.
Yeah.
Especially like the one if you don't have the switches. Or is that the castle 7? One of the castles, there's like a bunch of platforms, and it's one square and then 2 dotted lines if you don't have the switches activated. That one sucks.
That was there was in the castle, I think there was one point of that. That might have actually been, no, because it was a ghost house and then the castle. It might have been the castle in Bowser's Valley where there's a whole point where you have to like jump on platforms that sink, and then there's one spot where you have to jump onto a platform that bounces, like it has a springboard on it. And next to it, there are 2 boxes. I can't remember what color they were. To be honest, in my opinion, having that switch made that part harder because the guy up top, the shovel man, would shovel the box down, the boulder down, and it would bounce next to the boxes to the springboard. So you would need to get onto the springboard and jump up and over him before the ball hit the springboard and potentially hit you at the same time. It was annoying. But yeah, pretty much all of Bowser's Castle was easier than like so many of the levels. But all of Bowser's Valley was easier than some of the levels in that game. Like, I don't know, man. It took me an hour and a half. I think I started at 7:30 and I beat it by 9:30. So an hour and a half, 2 hours to get through the last world.
I told you that. Like, if you remember, like I said, like compared to like the Chocolate Island and the Ghost Ship, like you're just going to like kind of fly through Bowser's world.
Yeah. And, honestly, the Ghost Ship was no problem at all.
So I wasn't sure if that one was going to get you with the parts of the level where the ghosts like fade in and out and they come up in different spots.
That got me the first, like, maybe I might have like died fully twice from that, but like the last time I did it, and I kind of cheesed it a bit. I had went in with Yoshi, and so I kept catching Yoshi, and if I got hit, I would just catch Yoshi again. Or I went in. I also had like my power up plus whatever was in the box. So it was basically I had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 free hits, and I was able to just speed through it.
That's that's actually not a bad way to do it.
Yeah. I'm sure I've done that before.
Yeah.
I don't fucking want to actually play this level. I'm just gonna hammer through it.
Yeah, I mean it's rare. Like, so Drew, I don't think I told you because you weren't here last week, but the week before, like after we recorded, I went down and just beat the rest of Mario World just to see like what Richie had in store through like Forest of Illusion and Chocolate Island and everything.
Uh-huh.
And like I didn't do half of Chocolate Island because I did the quick exit of like the second level where it like loops you around to the pipe and lets you like skip the castle and everything.
Right.
And then I just did Bowser's World and into the into the castle. And even then, like half those Bowser levels I hadn't done in so long because usually like I'll do Star Road when I play. Like I'll play the worlds I want to play, and then I'll just jump into Star Road and go to Bowser that way.
Yeah, no, I was over here thinking like, man, I don't remember the last time I went through the front door of Bowser's castle.
I mean that too, yeah. That's usually the one that I go through because of Star Road, because that it dumps you at that door.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It's right to the left of Bowser's front door.
I swore it went straight to the back door.
No.
Huh.
I thought about trying to figure out to get the fortress just to skip all of Bowser's.
I just dropped the picture of Bowser's
Yeah.
completed world in the chat.
But yeah, I thought about trying to do the fortress to get through Bowser's back door.
Bumps.
But like, and it was like I thought I actually found it. I was making it through the level before the level that would attach to the fortress, and I was like, oh, and I went around, like I went a different. I was like, oh, did I find the secret exit? And but no, it was the right exit. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
but
that's usually how that goes.
I didn't end up like looking it up or anything like that.
But again, good job.
Thanks. I never have to play that cursed game ever again.
You're the worst. But what's on the agenda?
Look, you even say that you don't play every fucking level.
But it's a good game regardless.
All right. So on the agenda, unfortunately, we are not talking about a book club movie this week because my brain was broken and I thought we needed to watch it for next week. So I haven't watched it yet. So we're gonna hold that off until next week. Do we want to set up what the next movie is and just do back-to-back book clubs, or do we just want to hold that off for 2 weeks?
We'll just hold it off. It's fine.
Okay. I played a little bit of Oblivion Remastered, not long, about an hour or so. Cobb, you started playing a game that I really want to play, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Looks fucking stellar. And then I played a board game solo by myself called Set a Watch. So we're going to talk about those.
Nice. So yeah, Oblivion. Is it good?
It's
20
Oblivion.
years later?
It's Oblivion. It's
I've never played it. I don't. Is it good?
I know. It's Oblivion. It's people say that it's like Bethesda's best RPG or something like that. People love it. People continue to play it now. Like I don't know. When it comes to the Elder Scrolls games, they have such long lifespans, not even because they were released a million or because Skyrim was released 19 times, but because they're just generally overall good games. Like they have a lot to them. Like for like what Bethesda does and did to like say Starfield or Fallout, they do really well with fantasy. And so they do really well with the combat and the magic systems and leveling of like their RPGs when it comes to the fantasy settings. Fallout is always a little tricky, but I think Fallout is good because it leans more on the RPG aspect with like the VAT systems, and then fuck Starfield. But when it comes to like Elder Scrolls games, they've always been really good and highly regarded, and so I've never really played much of it. I know back in the day, the furthest I got was maybe to the next town after you get out of prison. And there's like a Coliseum there, and I always did the Coliseum, and then I basically would stop after that. And so like I don't have a lot of experience with Oblivion, but like I will say this game looks gorgeous. It looks so beautiful. It feels pretty spot on to the original. Like it makes all the goofy silliness of like that era of gaming, the chunkiness of that era of gaming look smooth and better. Like you got to see some of these cat people with real people hair. Like it's wild. It's stupid. It's so stupid. But like you can have a curly fucking updo and be a cat person. That's crazy. Sorry, that was me. Like literally I was crying. No. But yeah, I so far, like I said, I'm only like an hour in, and I escaped from the prison. And then I went into like a dungeon that's like right outside the prison just to explore. And I like it. It's good. It feels good. Um, there is a little bit of jank. There was one
It's
point.
Bethesda.
I mean, it's not Bethesda. It is, but it's not because they outsource them to do this.
So I
Because
read though this is not like they didn't remake anything. They're just using all like they just redid the visuals
and stuff.
Like
mostly,
the game behind it is still the Bethesda made game.
So at one point, like I started off, I was like, I'm going to be an archer, and then I forgot in this one they actually have you pick a class, and that like determines how like some of your like some stuff that will level up faster. Because in my opinion, this is the best way to do leveling up in any RPG or RPG that has a style of leveling up where it's based on skill points. This is the best way to level up. Uh, Oblivion has action leveling or action scaling, basically meaning the more you swing your sword, the more experience you get with swordsmanship. The more you block, the more experience you get with blocking. The more you run around, the more experience and skill levels you get with like acrobatics and agility and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an archer. So I started running around just using bow and arrow in the sewers. And at one point, there's this mouse, and I shoot the mouse in the head, and it just starts dancing around all over the screen. It's dead, but it's dancing around all over the screen until I go to the mouse and take the arrow out of its head, and then it falls flat on the ground. It was hilarious. It's ridiculous. There are a lot, like you said, like it is primarily it's just a graphical upres. So like from what I'm seeing online, all the same item duplication glitches are still there. Like a lot of the same, like just jank or mostly jank. But like this was in an era of Bethesda where there wasn't a lot of like jankiness. There wasn't like dragons flying backwards and stuff. But there's like there's some hidden secrets throughout it that like you'll see and you can run into and you can find. But like I don't know them all. I don't really care to find them all. I'm just there to experience the game. It's good overall. I'm still trying to like remember and learn all the basics. I chose Bard because like Bard's the best class ever. So I'm going to be working with like illusion magic and swords. Even though I started with bows, I was like, you know what? You can pick a class. I'm going to pick Bard, and so I chose Bard. And yeah, it's good so far. It's going to be my new series since I finished wrapping up. Finished with Subnautica Below Zero. So I was
nice.
Fuck it, why not? I was like, let's just do Oblivion. It's on Game Pass. Let's just do that for my next series. It's the perfect time to start this because it just came out.
That actually isn't a yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of a first playthrough because like I said, I've never really made it more than like 5 hours into the game. So yeah, I like it. It's Oblivion. That's really the best you can say. It's beautiful Oblivion. That's really it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's
right.
If you liked Oblivion, you'll like this.
What if I never played Oblivion?
You're not gonna like it because you don't like these games anyway.
That's true. That is true.
Have you ever played Skyrim?
A little bit. I didn't like it.
Yeah. So, but like this is different than Skyrim. Have you ever played Morrowind?
No, like the first time I ever tried a Bethesda game was Skyrim. I've just come to terms like I don't like those sort of games. Like I don't like the jankiness. I don't like the lack of direction. They're not for me because I don't like Fallout either.
There's direction.
There's not enough direction for me.
Straight up, he tells you, when you get out of the sewers, they're like, you need to find this person, go here. And then you open the map and you don't even have to walk there. They're like, you can just fast travel there if you. There's 100% direction in that. It's not just like
Skyrim or Oblivion.
Oh, no, Oblivion.
Oh, okay. Like in Skyrim was just very much like, yeah, you can go here or you can kind of just fuck off and do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, that's any open world game in general, but it's been a long time since I played Skyrim, so I can't remember how Skyrim opens up.
Yeah, like I've legitimately never even seen the opening of Oblivion or Morrowind for that matter. So I forget, was Oblivion the first one that hit console, or was it Morrowind?
No, Morrowind was on Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew one of the two was the first. I just didn't know. I don't actually know which one is first either. It's Morrowind, then Oblivion, right?
Yeah, Morrowind was Xbox, and then Oblivion was 360.
Yep.
And then Skyrim was also 360 / PlayStation, whatever was out at that time.
Yes.
I mean, Skyrim has been released on every platform since.
Well, yeah, but I think it like
right.
Yeah, but I think it started on like the 360 era, like at the back end of the 360.
Mm-hmm.
When did Skyrim come out? Was that like one
I
of
was
those like
working at
11, 11,
GameStop.
11 games?
It
was. Skyrim was
yeah.
11, 11, 11.
Yep.
Yeah, I even tried. I tried Elder Scrolls Online once, and even that
Oh.
just like didn't feel good.
Maybe Oblivion was PlayStation 2/Xbox and not 360 because that would be 2005.
Yeah, that's Xbox 360.
Okay.
It was 1,000% 360.
Yeah, we had it on PC. So
yeah, I didn't get a lot of PC games until after I graduated, so like 05, 06.
Yeah.
I think like I got Final Fantasy 11 for the PC because like there wasn't a PS2 version of it. And that was not fun to play by yourself. So I never really played it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say it was like a year later that the PS2 version came out.
Of what? Sorry.
Final Fantasy 11.
That sounds right.
I was going to say something else about those games. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, actually, this is unrelated. Did you guys catch the news that fucking Forza Horizon came to PlayStation?
I mean, I saw Jeff Gerstmann played it on a stream, and I was like, "Oh, weird."
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Forza Horizon 5, the most recent one from 21 or 22, is on PlayStation 5, and that is really fucking weird.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's weird because Forza's whoever makes that's I don't remember who makes, but whoever makes
games
owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, the Horizon ones are Playground, and yeah, they are 100% Microsoft. Like if you go into the PlayStation store, even like the online store, and search for Forza, the game publisher, developer, whatever shows up says Microsoft, or it might say Xbox actually, because I think that's how they categorize.
That's even funnier.
Yeah, yeah, it was wild. Like I saw like a random post about it somewhere today, and then like I looked it up, and I couldn't find like announcement news. I just found a bunch of people talking, like a bunch of websites talking about it releasing yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I totally fucking missed this, and that's weird. But yeah, so nothing else about Oblivion though?
No, minus the fact that it's so fucking big. I had to struggle to make space on my PC to play it.
Yeah, it's like 120 gigs, right? Or 140?
100 something, yeah.
Yeah, it is not a small game.
Which it's 120, 119.22. And like normally that wouldn't be an issue, but I also have fucking Monster Hunter on my PC,
which is
like
700
normally
gigs.
Which no, it's actually smaller than you'd expect at the moment, or at least based on like original download needs. So it's not much bigger than that, than what it was. I'm trying to get to the store page to remember how big it was. So it's only 75. Base game was 75. They haven't really added much, so no more than 80, to be honest. I'd be shocked if it were any more than 80 right now. So like it's not that much bigger. Or it's like 40 gigs smaller, but like normally I would only have one really big game on. Like I like when Wilds is coming out, I uninstalled World and stuff like that. But like I don't know what it is, and I've gone through all of my videos. I've gone through everything trying to delete like all stuff I don't need. I don't know what it is and why it feels like I have such little space on my PC right now. I don't know.
You might actually have like system files taking up space.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know. I have to go.
Windows is really bad about just growing and not clearing out its old shit. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a computer for 5 years, your computer will have like 100 gigs of more Windows shit because it just doesn't clear out the old stuff correctly. So like it just holds on to old updates, and even running the tools to like that's supposed to remove that only works like a third of the time.
Yeah. So currently right now I have 234 gigs free on my PC. Taking out 200 gigs for Oblivion and Monster Hunter. So that gives me 434 out of 950. So like there's roughly 400 gigs unaccounted that I can't figure out.
I'm going to send you a link to something.
I think you tried this once before.
I may have, and I think we found something on there.
I don't know.
Just run this guy. Install that. Download the first option. Don't do it right now. Install it when it gets to the end where like it asks if like it says it's done. Do you want to open it? Uncheck that box and hit finish. and then from your start menu or your desktop, right click on the program and do run as administrator. And then let it run against your C drive, and it will tell you where all of the storage is going.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll actually like give you like a nice little like chart of it in size order, so you can see what's taking up too much space. And if it's shit that's like yours that like you just didn't realize was like taking up 100 gigs for no reason, you can just delete it.
Yeah.
If it's in the Windows folder, don't just delete it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a chance that like OBS or something has like a ton of like backup temp files from streams or recordings.
Yeah, it's possible.
But I guess, do you guys want to move along?
Here, I want to play a quick game about Oblivion real quick. Okay, so the remastered is 125 gigs. How many times more do you think that is than the original game file size?
Oh,
110 times.
Easily like 100 gigs more.
It is over 100 gigs more. It is like 60 times the size. The original game is like 4.5 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be like not optimistic. I was going to give them like a buffer. I was going to say like maybe 15. Like maybe it was a double layered DVD that it ran on, or maybe it ran on 2. Looking at the Steam stores, the system requirements for Oblivion Game of the Year edition, so that even includes like
all the
extra
DLC.
shit.
The horse armor, right? Or no, that was Skyrim. Horse armor was Skyrim.
No, Oblivion was horse armor.
Oh, was it?
There's a reference to the horse armor in the remaster too.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that is 4.6 gigs, the Game of the Year edition. So
wow.
I actually wonder, can I find just
Probably not on the Steam store.
Is it under Elder Scrolls, or is it under the Elder Scrolls, or is it just under Oblivion?
I mean,
because I'm pretty sure I own.
This Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Game of the Year edition. There's also Oblivion Game of the Year edition Deluxe.
And that one is actually somehow a gig smaller, right?
It lists them both as 4.6 gigs. So, like, I don't.
Yeah, so what did a DVD have on it back in the day? Was it 4.25 or something? Or was it 4.7 gigs? So games had to be under 4.7 gigs to fit on a single DVD. And I don't think the 360 did Xbox 360. Okay, it does not look like. Oh, I spelled that wrong. That's why it's not giving me the right answer. Okay, so 360 games were stored on Dual Layer. So they could have been up to 8 gigs. So you figure, like, at most, a 360 game on a single disc was 8 gigs.
Yeah.
Like, PS3, like, could be bigger because they were on Blu-rays, which I want to say the original Blu-rays were 25 gigs.
That sounds right.
But still, like, even that's not that much when you think about, like, how, like, 120 gigs for this remaster. That's insane. Mm-hmm. Any other question about...
No,
that was just all. That one.
No.
All right.
Tell us about Expedition 33.
Clair Obscura Expedition 33. You got to give it the whole name.
Everyone knows it. Everyone who knows about it will call it Expedition 33.
So far I know why the Expedition 33. I'm still waiting to figure out why the Clair Obscura. I'm somewhere around 10 hours, probably 8 to 10 hours. I like it a lot. Charlie Cox is the voice actor of the main character from Daredevil fame.
Nice.
Yeah. He gets to use his British accent too.
It's Clair Obscur.
Oh, is it Clair Obscur, not
Yeah.
Good call. Thank you. So I mean, it's a turn-based RPG. Which, Rich, I was actually a little surprised when you said you were like super interested in playing this one, because you don't play a lot of turn-based games because you play most of your games on stream.
No, I mean I've played a boatload. Well, actually, no. Most of the RPGs lately have been.
Yeah, they've been more action RPGs, right?
Well, I mean they've been. Yeah, I guess they've been more action RPGs, like Final Fantasy and Star Ocean and shit like that.
Like, out of curiosity, do you know the last time you played a turn-based RPG?
No.
Okay.
I can't say I do.
Yeah, I mean it's rare. Like there aren't, other than playing like some of like the retro remakes, like Persona, Yakuza, and now this are kind of the big ones that are that style. I say Persona, but I mean who's the company? Atlas. Atlas makes those games. So like Atlas games tend to be turn-based. The Yakuza universe games tend to be turn-based now. And then this game. And this game, the turn-basedness of this game is definitely in the more modern, like Persona, like everything is just assigned to a button in combat. So you, like, if you're going to attack, you just hit A and then pick your target. If you're going to hit like a skill, you hit X, it opens the skills, and then each of your skills are assigned to a different one of the face buttons. And if you have, so far at least, I can have 6 skills assigned to a character at any given time. You hit the triggers to kind of switch between them. And, you know, similar to like any other RPG, like there's elemental and physical skills depending on the character. Your weapons then can also get like different elemental and physical buffs to them. And that honestly comes in helpful against some of the enemies because different enemies have different weaknesses. So, you know, you get to exploit those weaknesses by just attacking versus having to spend your skill points to use like the fancy skills. It does do, rather than having like MP or anything like that, you just have it's AP, and it builds as the fight goes on. So when you use an attack that uses AP, it just uses it. But if you're using like your normal attacks, or if you're using like a special ability that generates AP, you'll generate more. And as you do that, you'll be able to unlock more of your potential abilities. Would kind of like the limit meter in like 7 Remake, where like that unlocks like the limit break. Like it kind of runs that way. Yeah, but other than like the gameplay, like the combat at least, gameplay reminds me a lot of like the more modern Persona stuff. Just because that's what I'm most familiar with. You've got kind of, instead of having like palaces or dungeons, like the kind of world is broken up into these like hubs, let's call them, where you're kind of traveling through maze-like levels, with enemies patrolling different parts of it, and you can run up to them, and if you kind of initiate the combat first, you get to do like the first strike, and your whole team gets a round of attacks before the enemy does. If the enemy hits you first, or if you just kind of run into them, it comes down entirely to the speed of the characters. Sometimes the enemies will get attacks first. Sometimes it'll be, you know, one of your characters, then 2 of the enemies, then one of your characters again. So that kind of makes it, you know, that there's a little more strategy than just like running around and like attacking. And then everything's just a giant fucking maze. Like I've gotten lost so many times running around here. It's really easy to like finish combat and then get turned around and accidentally kind of run back the way you had come. And, you know, like as you're doing that, maybe you veer off onto like a side path, not realizing it. And you just end up like 10 minutes back from where you started, and you realize you're at a previous expedition marker. And then you're like, fuck. And you turn around and head the other direction again. One thing I just noticed today while I was playing, though, is I think if you start backtracking too much, the game turns the music off. It happened while I was playing, and when I turned around and started going in the right direction again, after a minute, the music came back on. So I'm going to try that and actually go to an area that, when I go into the next area, I'm going to kind of like go forward for a little bit and then kind of like start backtracking after I get through like a zone and see if I notice the music cut off. Because I know the game does try to help point you on like the right path. By so far in every world, there's some sort of like lighting feature, whether it's like real or natural, that is kind of the main path that will take you to where you need to go. Because there's lots of like offshoots and like hidden chambers that you can go explore. But that path thing is only great if you know which direction to go in. And it's really easy to like loop around like one of those side chambers, come out the other side of the screen, and then not know if you're supposed to go like up or down, and then just accidentally follow the wrong one for a little while. Luckily, like I mentioned before, there's like expedition markers from past expeditions, and they all have numbers on them. So as long as you kind of like look at the number as you get to it, you can kind of like be like, oh shit, I've been to this one already, and like turn around and head back the other way. because those markers are kind of your they're your campfires basically from like your like Souls games. They're they don't save, but they're where you can heal, where you can spend points to level up your characters, all that sort of thing. Because your characters will gain levels just through combat, but to give them skill points into their different attributes or unlock different abilities, you have to do it at the flags. And then there's a few like extra mechanics that you get as you progress in the game where you can go to like a camp at certain times. And in the camp, you get a dude who will upgrade your weapons for you, which is cool because you can like, if you have a weapon that say is like a little bit on the weaker side, but is a has like a good what's it called, elemental effect, you can like hold onto that weapon and like level it up as you're going and make it viable to use when you're in a world where every enemy is weak to that, especially if they happen to be resistant to like whatever your strongest weapon at the time is. And then the weapons have different they get actually different buffs. So they have like, you have like real basic weapons where it's just here's the attack power and that's that. Then you have different ones where the higher the weapon level is, the better like passive abilities they give you. And then they also will get attack bonuses based off of attributes for certain attributes. They'll usually have a letter grade like D through S, and it'll say like agility or might or something like that. So if you have really high agility, you might get an extra like 2 or 3 points of attack, which is a little weird to think about it. But once you like realize that's what they mean, it makes a little bit more sense. And then aside from that part of the level up, Drew, I know you know it. Rich, have you played Final Fantasy IX before?
Yeah, I played Final Fantasy IX.
Okay, I thought
played
so.
more 9 than I have.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
I've never gotten off disc 1 of Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, damn.
Final Fantasy IX was the first Final Fantasy I ever beat.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep. So one other thing so far in the game is Pictos are what they call them. And they remind me a little bit of the ability system in Final Fantasy IX, but for passive stuff. So you don't get like fire or anything out of these. But you remember in Final Fantasy IX how like you install one of the stones on your character's board, and then once you get enough AP for it, you master it, and you have like access to that all the time going forward. So you can kind of like pass different abilities between your whole team. This game
remember there being a skill board in Final Fantasy IX. 9, you got all your skills and abilities from your weapons. Are you thinking 10 that had the sphere grid?
I'm not talking about the sphere grid. So there is, what is it called? Hang on. It was item based. Like you like slot things into stuff.
Right.
Wish I could remember what it was called.
I don't remember it having a name.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Well, like how like you would put a gem in till it like leveled all the way up, and then you just permanently had the thing unlocked.
I don't remember gems in Final Fantasy IX. Is what I'm saying. I just remember you had your weapons gave you abilities. Like your weapons, you would have to use your weapon until you filled up the AP bar, and then you would always have that ability on that weapon. From that weapon, when you unequipped it and equipped something else, similar to how Final Fantasy VII Remaster and Rebirth do it.
Yeah, but you would like turn them on, like because they were like little gem icons. It
wasn't like an item that you had to collect to then be able to. It wasn't like materia. It was just like you had to make sure you selected the thing so it got AP.
But it wasn't just the weapons; it was like the bangles and stuff too.
Yeah, it was like, on all of the gear.
I don't remember that much.
Some things were on armor, some things were on weapons, some things were on accessories, or whatever the fuck they called them.
So support abilities must be equipped to the character using magic stones in the menu. So command abilities can be used at any time, have different commands, and have different action abilities.
Well, this system is why I fucking hated 9, by the way, and never finished it.
It is...
9 is fantastic.
So
9 is such a good game.
It's that board where, like, you can say, like, the plus 20% to MP, the auto regen stuff.
Oh, I didn't even fucking touch that. If I remember, I mean, probably not. Like, I don't think I really fucked around with this at all.
Oh, okay, so
that
is probably why you don't remember it then. And I mean, if you played it when it came out, like,
I played it. 13? I was like junior, senior in high school.
Oh, so you played it later.
Shahid challenged me to beat it before he did, or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, I don't remember using that at all. I don't remember using that screen at all.
So these things, like, they have like the point values next to them. This is useless for people listening, but basically, like, once you get 10 AP for that thing, I think that's how it worked at least. You get auto regen available all the time. It doesn't have to be like checked off anymore.
Right.
So this game has a similar thing with these pictos, where each picto you find has like your normal like stat increase, like more might or vitality or something, and then they also have some sort of passive buff, whether it's a better chance at critical. If you dodge, if you do like a perfect dodge, you'll get like an AP point back for your next round of attacks. There's one where if you're below 50% of health, you automatically shell yourself. And that it has a similar thing where, but actually I think better, once you have won 4 fights with that item equipped, you get it unlocked for all of your team. So you can actually just go in and like give your whole team the auto shell part of the picto without having that picto equipped to anybody. And it's all just comes down to what level you are determines how many of them you can assign, and each one just has like a different value. So like if you have a really good one, it might be worth 10 points. So you have to be at least level 10, and that might be the only one you can give to yourself. So like I think shell might be 5 or 6. So once you get to level 5, you can give that to everybody, but they can't have any of the other passive buffs. And yeah, I like that part of it because it does add a little extra strategy to the combat. As does actually agility, like having your speed for your characters and kind of like prioritizing certain characters to have a higher speed rating than others, so that you can control the order of combat, can benefit you because like your main character that's voiced by Charlie Cox, he has an ability kind of very early on that marks a target. If you mark a target, the next time they're attacked, it does extra damage. So if you can have him go before a character that is elemental and can kind of attack to the enemy's weakness, you can kind of guarantee that first weakness attack will be like extra potent. Mm-hmm. And likewise, one of the characters is stance based. So she gets she has an offensive stance, a defensive stance, and like a super offensive stance. And you'll drop out of those stances after one turn of not doing an ability to keep you in one. But some characters have abilities that will help keep that character in the better stance, the super offensive one, or whatever you want to. I forget what it's called, like virtuoso or something like that. She's a fencer, so it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I'm having a great time with like the gameplay of it, and it's got kind of a cool narrative. The whole idea is you live on this island that was split off from the rest of like the main continent 100 years before during some like great cataclysm thing. And the world definitely has that weird like shit floats in weird ways and stuff like that. And like the island city that you live in is all kind of like half-assed and crumbly because of that. But every year for the last 67 years, this godlike being they call the Paintress wakes up and in the sky on this floating stone erases a number and then paints a new number on the rock, and it decreases by 1 every year. So it started at 100 and they're down to this game opens up with her painting 33, hence it being called Expedition 33. You are the 33rd expedition to try and go kill her. The thing that happens
started
though,
at 100, wouldn't you be the 77th expedition to go try and kill her?
So it's weird. It's like, I'm sorry. Yes, it's not that you're not the 33rd expedition to go try and kill her. It started at 100, but then also they had like an expedition 0 or something. The numbers didn't make sense, but it counts down also.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird, but you were expedition 33. The previous year was expedition 34. The one before that was expedition 35.
So just real quick. Clair Obscur is the French translation of the Italian word chiaroscuro, which is a style of art from the Renaissance where it was using light and dark to make strong contrasts and have it like show more depth in a painting.
Okay, that actually makes sense with like some of the visuals and stuff, and the game definitely is like it leans into like kind of a French aesthetic with, especially with like names like your main character's name is Gustave.
Yes.
He's British, but that's his name. All the characters are British. At least in the US version. But the cool thing every time, well, it's actually kind of sad in the game. Every year when she writes the new number, everyone that age disappears.
Yeah.
Like they crumble to dust and disappear forever. So at this point there is nobody in the world no human in the world older than 33. So like your main character Gustav is 33. I think the entire expedition is 33 except for one character.
No, older than 33 or nobody who is 33 because like
so nobody's older than 33. So everyone that was when she made it 33, everyone that was 34 died. I might have that backwards. But either way, like every year everyone of that age disappears forever.
Because then if she writes 33 after 34, somebody who was 33 is now 34.
So if you're older than the age, you also disappear. So like if your birthday falls in that weird spot, and so like there's a whole bunch of like kind of contentious people when the game first starts and you're kind of doing the prologue, because one of the characters that like you're kind of traveling through the city with, she did not have a child, and people are mad at her because it's like you're not helping to prolong our city. It's like we're all going to die in 33 years. The fuck does it matter? Like, honestly, why bring somebody into this world who's just going to be erased before they reach 18?
You're all going to die in 20 years.
Yeah. And like the one person that was bitching was also being erased that year. Like she had her like 6-year-old child standing next to her and goes like, I can't believe you didn't do it. It's like, bitch, get over yourself.
Yeah.
And then she disappears. So she got what she deserved. I don't know. It's a cool narrative though. And yeah, like every year they send like a new expedition to go try and beat the Paintress. Only Expedition 0 ever returned. No other expedition has ever come back. And obviously they've also never been able to defeat her. So obviously I'm assuming like Expedition 33 will be the one to defeat her. Like, and I'm curious if like the end of the game will have us like bringing people back. Like they weren't really dead. They were just like in limbo or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That'd be weird. It's fucking Infinity Stone shit.
I mean, honestly, when everyone disappeared, it was like the snap. The only difference was everyone had these flower wreaths around their neck, which is actually it was actually kind of like it was impactful because you're walking through the city and there's tons of NPCs gathered around, and you could see these groups of people with where like one person would have a wreath and they'd have like friends and family kind of like huddled around them because like that one person was the next one to get shipped off into Oblivion. But yeah, when the number gets changed, everyone turned to dust and then the flower petals all kind of broke apart. So it was very reminiscent of the snap, but with flowers too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The game has a world map.
Oh man, you haven't seen a world map in a long time.
Yeah, it's not the best world map, but it's kind of cool that it has a world map. And like you get there, you open the map, and it tells you like the next location to go to, which is nice because there are quite a few spots on the map that you can kind of go explore. And like I said, it's honestly not the best world map. So if you weren't told where to go, like you could end up wandering around on that thing for a while, not understanding what to do.
Yeah.
The world map is also where you can open the camp up, and that'll let you like I said, like upgrade weapons after a certain point, and do some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's on Game Pass. That's actually how I got it. I just subscribed to Game Pass for a month and downloaded it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not super long apparently either. Like I looked up like the how long to beat.
It's like 20 hours, something like that.
It's saying 30 for just the story and up to like 60-ish if you kind of do not everything, but if you're kind of doing like a mixture of main story and side quests.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's definitely I want to play it, but it's not that it's turn-based, it's keeping me away. It's just I played so many RPGs in the last 2 years. And like at one point or another, it just became really hard making like good content or like clippable content out of RPGs. That I was just like, I need something else. And then at this point, it's y'all fucking blew me out the water with my expectations of these subs, and so I don't have the time to play it right now. Is really the issue at this point. Like if I weren't in the middle of this sub push, I probably would have started playing that. Because prior to Dino Crisis, like when we reached those 10 subs to play Dino Crisis, I was like, I don't know what to play. I got to figure out what to play. And there was like a couple of games I was looking into, and then we got to 10, and then we got to 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need a break from retro for a bit because I want to play some new games, but we got to get back to the retro.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'll be starting South of Midnight this week.
Which also like I do want to get back to that. That game is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And that's on my Steam Deck, so I can kind of just pick that up whenever.
Yeah. I know it's relatively short, so I'm hoping on like starting it and beating it this week. And then maybe starting and beating Dino Crisis 2 through next week before Doom comes out, and then playing Doom, which is probably going to be shorter, and then getting into Link to the Past, and then Schedule 1 eventually, which is a super long game that I don't even know it technically has an ending.
Yeah, I did not realize South of Midnight was just like a 10-hour game.
Yeah, it's a short game. It's a shorter game.
Also, you know what? I heard you mention Doom like last week or something, and like I don't think I said anything, but like I'm surprised you're going to play Doom because for some reason I thought you didn't enjoy those.
I'm not a big fan of arena shooters, but this one in particular, the action and everything with the medieval fantasy like styling to it looks good, and like it's the first one that I'm just like, you know what, I kind of want to check this out. I kind of want to try it.
I mean, look, the last two Dooms were like spectacular. Like even if you don't like the battle like arena sort of thing, they played really well. Yeah. So like I have to imagine like this one is also going to play well.
Yeah, I'm sure this is also going to be an arena shooter, and it's going to be
absolutely
the same thing.
Yeah,
but it's like I'm like it looked really good and really fun, and I'm just like I want to give it a shot. I want to play it. So it was just like I'm really digging that fantasy style for it.
Drew, did you play Doom Eternal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought so. I couldn't remember though. Are you going to pick up the Doom Dark Ages?
Yeah, I'll definitely get that. Maybe not day one, because I forget when that comes out, but
15th.
Okay, probably not day one, but actually, well, day one, no, because I won't get
the other reason I'll be playing is it's on Game Pass. So
yeah,
like that's the other like bigger reason why I'll be playing it is because it's going to be on Game Pass.
So are all the other Doom?
I didn't have Game Pass at the time.
I mean, they're still on there now.
I think so, yeah, but
yeah,
I know they're on there.
Yeah, they're first party games.
Yeah, they fucking bought Bethesda.
Look, let me play the one I'm interested in to see if I'll actually care about the other ones, okay? And I have too many backlog games right now. What story? You go kill demons.
No, there's a narrative, man.
Is there a narrative that goes across all of them?
Yes.
I mean, at least the like Doom and Doom Eternal. Yeah, I don't know about Dark Ages. Like, I don't actually
I don't know because it hasn't come out, but I'm pretty sure
Doom the Dark Ages is just going to be an isekai Doomslayer. I hope it's
that would actually be really, really cool if like it picks up at the end of Doom Eternal and he just gets pulled into like
he gets hit by a truck and sent to medieval Mars demons.
No, like I hope it's like medieval Earth and it's like Army of Darkness and all the fucking demons are just coming out on Earth and he doesn't have any guns, so he has his chainsaw and whatever shit he can find in medieval England.
Yeah.
But no, those games are cool. But yeah, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is fun. Definitely recommend it. And like cool story, narrative, gameplay, everything's good. Now, Rich, what is Set a Watch?
So you get a watch, and you actually have to piece. No, it's not a watch game. It's a game by Todd Walsh and Rock Manor Games. And it is basically you are a fantasy an adventuring troupe of 4 characters like wizard, fighter, rogue, and cleric, and there's a couple of other classes. And you are on an adventure that goes across 9 rounds basically, or 9 days. And each round somebody has to go on watch and man the campfire, make sure the campfire doesn't go out. The goal of the game is to get through the last level and have at least one person with one ability not exhausted after defeating all the enemies. And the gameplay loop is just revealing location card, taking out all, like setting up the monster deck for that location, managing your fire, your campfire, and managing your abilities so that you can kill all the monsters. You reveal all the monsters face down except for the front one, the first one, and depending on how strong your fire is, you might reveal the second and third one as well, if your fire is strong enough. And as you reveal each of the monster cards, they'll have like an ability, a potential reveal ability, or a first position ability. So if you reveal a monster in the second position, it's like first position, it does this, then you want to take out that monster before you take out the monster in front of it. Certain characters can only attack close range, while others can attack long range. So close range is the first spot, long range is the second spot. And as the rounds go on, if you can't defeat all the monsters, you take quote damage based on their damage marker, and the damage is you actually have to exhaust abilities so that you can't use them until you rest and can recover them. You exhaust an ability for each damage point you take for each card, and then those cards get added to the Horde. The Horde is when you get to the end of the game, you lay out what that location card says, plus every card that's in the Horde.
Damn.
Yeah. It is a hard game. It is made to be hard. It is it's a cooperative puzzly game that I played solo. And it was fun. Like it makes you think. It makes you you have to figure out and strategize. Like what do I got to do? How do I do this? How do I do that? Like how can I clear this as best as possible? Like some of the abilities. One of my favorite abilities to use was the wizard had an ability that you would take two exposed cards that are adjacent to each other off the board, and you would add one to the back of the deck. Or back of the pile. So if you had two hard enemies, you would take those off. You would put them in at the bottom of the enemy deck, and you would draw the top card and place that at the back of that land's deck. So you defeat one monster, but you gain another. You defeat two monsters, but you gain one. So it might make things harder or easier. There's a deck of what's called Unhallowed, which are like boss monsters that you encounter that are a lot harder, a lot more difficult to deal with. If that deck runs out, game over. So there's actually abilities where you can take Unhallowed from your graveyard deck and put them back into the Unhallowed deck, so that this way that doesn't run out. Because when your enemy deck empties, you shuffle the graveyard, and you pull from the newly shuffled enemy deck now. So if there's an Unhallowed in the graveyard, it then gets shuffled into your regular deck. Unhalloweds get summoned at special instances. I'm not going to really get too far into that. And the whole game is based on each character rolls a set of 3 die, and they can either attack directly using the damage of the die, or they can use their die to activate their abilities if their abilities aren't exhausted. You can activate your abilities up to twice per round, because you can use a die and then you can exhaust that ability as well to activate it twice. But then if it's exhausted, you can't activate it again until you recover that exhausted ability by camping or healing from doing one of the several camp actions. So whoever's at camp they roll their die, and one of the dice actions for camp is if you roll exactly a 6, not higher, a 6, you can heal either one of your exhausted abilities or anybody's exhausted ability on a board. It's always 4 adventurers, so if you're playing with one person like I was, you control all 4. If you're playing with 3, you have 1 floating adventurer. If you're playing with 2, you divvy up in two for each person. And there's no necessarily turn order. You are all working together and figuring out your abilities to take out as many monsters as you can. The monsters don't attack until everyone has exhausted all their die and all their abilities.
Okay.
Yeah. It is known to be a hard game. It is I played normal and I lost. I barely lost. I think I had one, and I read a rule wrong, not a rule, but I read it, so that wizard's ability, for some reason near the end of the game, I thought it was place it at the top of the deck and not at the bottom of the deck. So like at one point I had to draw another enemy, and the top card that I was drawing was one of the cards I'd already banished. But I was mixing it up with the banish card, which is the cleric's, one of the cleric's abilities, where you can take an unhallowed or undead creature and banish it and place it at the top of the enemy deck. So that's where like I kind of got confused. When you're managing 4 characters, each with 3 unique abilities, as well as 2 more that you can swap out, there's a lot to remember. So it was a little rough. But it was cool trying and playing a board game by myself. I have a ton of board games I've never played, and I'm like, I kind of want to. This is a new series I'm working on YouTube as well, and so like I was like, let's see how this works and if I actually like this. So like I might try it with the Lost Ruins of Arnak. I have
does Lost Ruins have a single player mode?
It does have a single player mode, yes.
Oh, nice.
There's at least 1 or 2 other games that I have that have single player. I know the Monster Hunter World board game has a single player mode, because that's similar to like this, where it's just like you pick a character and you go fight a monster. And then because it was the same people who did like the Dark Souls board game and stuff, where it's like you can go and just do it solo, or you can have friends. So like yeah, I'm like, let me just go through my board games and play any single player role board games and see how this works. And it's also a good way to learn how to play the fucking game. Because, like, that's how I learn games and board games, is I learn by playing. And so, like, now I can teach people how to play this game. And I thought it was really fun that I'm like, I'm going to bring it to board game nights and board game days and be like, hey, let's play it.
So does it look like the rules stay the same? Because I know a couple of those, like, single-player modes, like, kind of drastically changed the game.
In Seto Watch, rules are exactly the same.
Okay, cool.
Because the whole point of Seto Watch is for adventurers. So, like, there's no turn order. So I can do an ability to take out a couple of enemies, and then somebody else can do stuff. Like, hey, we have these 3 in front of us. Can any of us deal with what's in front of us right now before we do anything else? Because, like, if your fire is set to 7 points, or 7 to 12 points, I believe, you reveal 2 cards, the front card and the second card after it. If it's 13 or higher and it maxes out at 15, you reveal the first 3 cards. So, like, then once you reveal those cards, you can actually figure out, like, what's the best order to take care of things, and you strategize between each other. What ability should we use? Should I get rid of things? Like, for instance, I was playing as the Beastmaster, who had a passive ability that tames at once per, like, round, or once per, watch. The Beastmaster can tame 1 forest monster that pops up on the field. And then they have another ability, so that's a free action. You don't have to spend a dice on that. If a forest monster shows up in the first position, you can tame them. And then their other ability is you can use any tamed forest monsters to take out the very last monster in the line. Even if it's not revealed, you can just take it out and remove it. And they both go to the graveyard. And so it's like, all right, well then you always everyone has to check and remember, oh, well, you have your passive. Did you use it? Let's figure out how to get this forest creature up first so you can get your monster, and then we can take out the last thing and things like that. It was really cool. And yeah, the rules are exactly the same for 1 to 4 players, because it's dice management. It's a dice management game, basically.
Which honestly, it sounds like it could be kind of cool.
It was in like, at least solo, it was really fun. Now, you know how I play games. It's going to be harder for me to relinquish control if I'm playing with more than myself. For me, I was able to look at all 4 cards and know what could do what, and basically have a basic understanding of everyone. Whereas, like, when it comes to playing with other people with this game, I'm going to sit here and I will be like, well, this person can do that person can do that, and I'm going to have to be like, only think about me and what I can do, because that's going to be the hard part of the game for me, playing with other people with this, is like not saying, hey, you can do this, why don't you do this, and you can do, and like taking it over and just conducting each round, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, because like I said, there's no turn order, and there's no, like, it's not like if I'm playing the Beastmaster and I use an attack, I have to do all of my dice and attacks and abilities all at once. No, it's I can do one thing, and then a couple of other people can do things, and like you can save your abilities for later and things like that as well. So it's a really cool concept. I really liked it, and there's a bunch of expansions. I bought this. I bought this from the is it Rock Manor that does it each year? No, whoever it was that does the charity boxes each year at PAX. This year they weren't doing.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
they do the tree game.
Yeah, something tabletop or something like that. I can't remember. But this year they weren't doing the charity boxes, but they were doing like 20% of all sales goes to charity, or they were doing a lot of money from all sales goes to charity. So I was like, I gotta buy something from that. It's like, since I'm not getting my $60 worth of games or $100 worth of games for $60, let me at least just buy a game from them. And this was, I was specifically looking. I wanted to get Everdell Duos, the which is the tree game. Everdell, they have a 1v1 game for Everdell that released last year. But they had sold out. Yeah, so they had sold out already. So I was like, well, let me look for like single player games, and I'm gonna start looking for more single player capable board games, because until I have somebody that lives with my house that wants to actually hang out with me, I only get 2 board game nights a week, and we don't often get to play the games I want to play at those board game nights. So
wait, you mean a month, right?
A month, yeah, not a week. I was
going to say, I'm like, man, you're complaining and you're playing games twice a week.
No. 2 board game nights a month, and it's like, and this isn't a complaint, but one of the board game night, the other board game night I have that doesn't include you, the last time we played Mexican Train Dominoes, or however it is, but like we played Dominoes for like 4 hours. I'm like, this is neat, but I just want to play. I want to play board games. I want to play games of strategy. I want to play bigger games. I want to play harder games.
Go to those like stores that do that shit and play with strangers.
I don't work well with strangers.
I mean, you don't work well with anyone, but I'm just saying.
Strangers are worse. Like, look at how I work with you guys, and then think about how I work with strangers.
I mean, that's fair.
I can't do strangers.
That is fair. Yeah,
but no, I wouldn't want to do like a board game night at just like a game shop either. I don't know. Because I don't know. I'd feel awkward because like, since I don't know all the rules of things, and like I wouldn't know how to socialize well there, because I'm terrible at socialize.
You mean you don't want to come play Clock Tower sometime?
I don't like social deception games. I am bad at them when it comes face to face. When it comes to video social deception games, like Lockdown Protocol and fucking Among Us, I'm great at mostly. But when it comes to face social deception games like Secret Hitler and Werewolf and Clock Tower, my face shows it all. Like, I cannot keep like a straight face. I cannot, because also, especially when it comes to playing a game like that with a bunch of people I don't know, it makes it even harder trying to figure out what they're doing and what's going on.
I mean, that is true. Like playing those games with people that you just don't know at all is definitely like harder than playing rounds where like you at least know like 1 or 2 people, because like you kind of like, you know how they're going to react to things.
Yeah.
But imagine you go play and you just, every time you become like the town drunk or whatever role it is where you don't get actual real information.
That would sound boring then.
But at least you don't have to. You don't get information, so you don't have to lie about the information you did or didn't get. You just get to try to read everybody.
But there's that one role where you don't know that you're getting the wrong information.
Yeah, me and reading people is also terrible. Like, that's the thing. Like,
I mean, you have said many times you're not good at reading.
Yes, like I'm not good at actually reading words, and I'm terrible at reading people in general. Like, in general. So like, social deception games just are not my forte. They're not something that I can really get into. But games like Shadow Watch is really fun. Like, I will be bringing this even to your game night or game days, Cobb, or to my other friends' game days, and be like, hey guys, this is the problem with the other one is it's 5 people and this is only up to 4. So it's like, it makes it a little bit harder to like be able to play certain games.
I mean, luckily all of those legacy games are 4 people, so
yeah,
it works out.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like Shadow Watch. I want to get the expansions. There's like a bunch of expansions. that I want to look into. And just the other cool thing about the box, which is also kind of annoying as well, is like they use the box as the game board. So like all of your watch, like everything you have to do to like manage your watch and your location cards and things like that are all used on the game board, which is cool. But they also use the inside of the game box to hold things. And so the things you're not using in the game, you just have to set aside somewhere, not in the game box.
There's sorry, go ahead.
And you also can't really roll your die in the game box because there's cards in the game box that you don't want to mess up their order. So it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, there's Erica has one game called The Final Girls or Final Girl. I don't know if it's plural or not. But same deal. It is only single player, but it's modular, and the game is like the box becomes all of your like pieces. So like it's got magnets and stuff in it, so it actually like unfolds and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how Set a Watch works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the couple times I've watched her play it, like nothing really doesn't get used. So like having to like unroll everything actually like it's fine. The only problem with that game is it takes up so much space. Like she basically has to play the dining room table.
Yeah, so like with Set a Watch, I mean I had to pull out my table as well, my card table, because I was originally like, oh, I can just play this on my desk. No, you need a lot of fucking space for this. It's pretty funny to see how squished I am in this video that I recorded of me playing it. But like when it comes to Set a Watch, it's got like you set up your 8 locations plus the final location, then 9th. And then there's a bunch of locations that don't get used that just get put into the unused location pile because there's abilities that you can use to like check the unused location file and switch things out. Monsters, you set up like 20 something monsters, like 28 monsters or something like that. And there's like, let's say 40. I might be over exaggerating. So there's like 12 monsters you don't use in each game. And it's like randomly set them up. So you just gotta like kind of just pick random 28 cards. So like that's like the annoying part is like it's not like the box has exactly everything you need. It's got more stuff because it wants each adventure to be different. But because there's actually so few amount of like enemy cards and unhollowed cards and things like that, it might be a little bit harder to have like that much of a different game. But there's a lot more extra location cards than just the 8. I think there's like maybe 20 location cards. So like there are 12 that I didn't go through. But like there's cool abilities like the wizard can use his teleport ability. You grab the top 2 or 3 location cards from the unused location deck. You pick one of them and you swap that with the top location card of of your location cards that you're going to next. So basically you're picking where you're going to go next. I got lucky, and there's 3 different types of locations. Just general location, there's respites, which are like easier location cards. You don't have to use your fire, because every time you go to a location, it tells you how much your fire gets used. And so some of the watch or some of the camp actions are increasing how much fire you have. So, like, I got lucky. My first round, I used teleport, and my next round, I was like, oh, I can get a respite right away. Sweet. And it was like, all right, you don't use fire. You still have to fight enemies, just not as many. And each location has, like, an ability that, like, will activate while you're in that location. And it's usually, if you're in a respite, it makes things easier. Like, oh, you recover this better, or you do that better, and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was really cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Well, unless you guys have anything else, I think that will probably be a show.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, no.
Right. So next week, we'll talk about UHF, if somebody remembers to watch it.
I'll find time to watch it this weekend. I literally, like I said, my brain farted, and I thought it was for next weekend, or for next week.
Sure. But yeah, other than that, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can always help us by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/OneQuestOnline, at @1_Quest on Instagram and Twitter, and OneQuest in some form on Blue Sky. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/OneQuestVideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. Rich, what is your streaming looking like?
Twitch.tv/B_Walnuts for video game streaming, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Yeah, I mean, we'll be starting, what's it called? South of Midnight this week. I'm reworking my scheduling in general, and Monster Hunter is no longer going to be on Sundays because then I can dedicate more time to playing these longer games and not just doing, Monster Hunter on those longer streams. So yeah, we'll be doing Monster Hunter, Sea Thieves, and South of Midnight, and Dino Crisis, and other games. Yeah.
Cool. And with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.